Hi, I'm Isabella. I've spent the last 4 years of my life hunched over lab equipment, surviving on coffee and determination to complete my biochemistry PhD. Most people would have quit after the second year of failed experiments, but not me. I finally nailed it. A breakthrough thesis on targeted enzyme therapy for Alzheimer's. Izzy, you coming home this weekend? Mom's making your favorite lasagna. My roommate Riley stood in my doorway, watching me organize my research files. Can't. Need to finalize my thesis before submission next week. Tell Mom I'll be there for the family dinner next month instead. That night, my phone buzzed with a text from Dad. Great news. Call us ASAP. I called immediately. What's up? Your brother got accepted to Princeton's Advanced Research Program. We're so proud. My stomach dropped. Noah? The one who barely passed organic chemistry? Don't be jealous, Izzy. He submitted a brilliant thesis on, what was it, honey? Enzyme therapy for Alzheimer's. They said it was groundbreaking. The room started spinning. That's impossible. That's my research, my thesis. Well, you were taking too long. Always perfectionist, Isabella? Noah needed something impressive for his applications and you weren't using it yet. I gripped my desk to steady myself. You stole my work? My life's work? Don't be dramatic. We're family. What's yours is ours. Besides, Noah has a real shot at a career with this. You would have just published it in some journal nobody reads? Put Noah on the phone. Now! A minute later, my brother's smug voice came through. Hey, sis. Thanks for the career boost. You didn't write a word of that thesis. Details. Mom and Dad found your draft on the home computer during Christmas break. Pretty careless of you. I struggled to breathe. Do you even understand what it's about? Something about enzymes. Whatever. Princeton doesn't care who actually did the work. They just want results. I hung up and immediately called my advisor, Professor Martinez. Professor, someone submitted my thesis under their name, my own brother. What? Isabella, are you certain? That's serious academic fraud. My parents helped him. They found my draft and... My voice cracked. Come to my office tomorrow morning. Bring everything, all your lab notes, drafts, emails, anything proving it's your work. I spent the night pulling together evidence, my tears mixing with rage. 4 years of my life, stolen by the people who were supposed to support me. The worst part? They didn't even think they'd done anything wrong. My phone kept buzzing with congratulatory messages for Noah from relatives. I turned it off and stared at the ceiling, plotting. They thought Noah was the brilliant one? Fine. Let's see him defend my research to a room full of biochemistry experts. By morning, devastation had hardened into determination. They'd stolen my thesis, but they couldn't steal my knowledge. And knowledge, in this case, would be their downfall. The next morning, I stormed into Professor Martinez's office clutching my evidence. Lab notebooks, draft versions with tracked changes, and email correspondence with my advisor dating back 3 years. Look at this. I spread everything on his desk. Every experiment, every failure, every breakthrough, all documented with dates and my signature. Professor Martinez examined my notebooks. This is meticulous work, Isabella. I never doubted you, but this confirms everything. What's disturbing is how this submission bypassed normal protocols. What do you mean? Your brother's submission went directly to the selection committee through an alumnus. Your father, I assume? It never crossed my desk for verification, which is highly irregular. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. We're having a celebration dinner for Noah tonight. Be there or you'll regret it. I showed Professor Martinez the message. They're actually celebrating this. Take this to Dean Winters. Academic fraud at this level demands institutional response. I left his office and bumped into Riley in the hallway. Whoa, you look like you're about to commit murder. Close. My family stole my thesis and submitted it under Noah's name. Holy shit, what are you going to do? Confront them at the celebration dinner tonight. Want to come witness the train wreck? Absolutely, but let's be smart about this. Riley pulled me into an empty classroom. You need leverage, not just accusations. That evening, Riley and I arrived at my parents' house. The dining room was decorated with a "Congratulations, Princeton" banner. Noah sat at the head of the table like some conquering hero. "Look who decided to join us," Dad announced. "The jealous sister." "I'm not jealous. I'm the actual author of that thesis." Mom set down a casserole dish. "We've been over this, Isabella. Family helps family. Noah needed this opportunity more than you." "More than me? I worked 4 years on that research," Noah smirked. "And I'll be the one presenting it to Princeton's board next week. They're calling it revolutionary." "Can you even pronounce beta secretase inhibitors?" "I don't need to. I just need to smile and look pretty for the donors." I pulled out my phone. "I recorded everything you just said. Plus, I have all my original research notes. Professor Martinez is backing me, and we're meeting Dean Winters tomorrow." The color drained from Dad's face. "You wouldn't embarrass this family like that? You embarrassed yourselves when you committed academic fraud." Mom tried a different approach. "Sweetie, think about Noah's future. He's not as smart as you. He needs this advantage." "That's your defense? He deserves my work because he's less capable?" Noah slammed his hand on the table. "Princeton already accepted me. It's done." "Is it?" "Because Dean Winters called me this afternoon. He wants to meet the brilliant mind behind this thesis. He specifically requested you explain the methodology section." "Can you do that, Noah?" Riley jumped in. "And I've contacted the Princeton Herald. They want to do a feature on the young genius revolutionizing Alzheimer's research." Noah's face went pale. "You're bluffing." "The meeting's scheduled for Thursday. Dean Winters seemed particularly interested in your lab techniques. Said they were unlike anything he'd seen before." Dad stood up. "This is ridiculous. We're your family." "Family doesn't steal from each other. I'm giving you one chance to withdraw Noah's application before I go public with everything." Mom called me 7 times the next morning. I finally answered on the 8th. "You need to help your brother prepare for this meeting." "Are you serious right now? You steal my work and then expect me to coach the thief?" "We're not asking you to write anything new. Just help him understand what you've already done." I laughed bitterly. That's exactly the problem. He doesn't understand any of it because he didn't do the work. 2 hours later, my phone buzzed with a text from Dad. $10,000. "That's what we'll pay you to coach Noah. Think about your student loans." I showed the message to Riley in our apartment. "They're trying to bribe me now. Record everything. This just keeps getting better for your case." The next day, Professor Martinez and I met with Dean Winters, a stern woman with piercing eyes who'd built her reputation exposing scientific fraud. "I've reviewed your evidence, Miss Garcia. It's compelling, but I need more before making accusations against a Princeton admit." "What about the recording of my brother admitting he didn't write it?" "Helpful, but we need him to demonstrate his ignorance more conclusively. The presentation Thursday will be perfect." "What if he withdraws before then?" "I've ensured he won't." Dean Winters smiled thinly. "I personally called to express my excitement about his groundbreaking work and mentioned the potential for immediate research funding." That afternoon, Noah showed up at my lab unannounced. "I need your help." "Not happening." "Look, I didn't ask for this, okay? It was Mom and Dad's idea. And yet you went along with it, happily. Because they've been drilling into me my whole life how I need to live up to you. Perfect Isabella with her perfect grades and perfect brain. So you steal my work instead of doing your own? Just help me understand this enzyme crap. The meeting's tomorrow, and Dean Winters keeps emailing me questions I can't answer." I saw an opportunity and pulled out my phone, discreetly starting the recording function. "Okay, Noah. Explain to me what you think your thesis is about." "Something about enzymes that eat brain proteins?" "That's not even close. Why should I help you when you stole from me?" "Because Mom and Dad will cut you off completely if you embarrass me. They said they'd write you out of their will." "I don't care about their money. They'll make your life hell. You know they will." I deliberately asked the question Dean Winters had emailed me about earlier. "Explain how your beta secretase inhibitors differ from traditional approaches." "My what?" "The core of your thesis. The thing that makes it revolutionary." I don't know, they clean up brain gunk better? I kept the recording running. And how did you validate your findings? Look, we both know I didn't write this thing. Just give me the answers and I'll memorize them. If you admit on record that you stole my work, I'll help you. Noah paced around the lab. Fine. I, Noah Garcia, did not write this thesis about whatever enzymes. Isabella did. Happy now? Crystal clear. Now get out of my lab. After he left, I sent the recording to Dean Winters and Professor Martinez. 10 minutes later, Dean Winters called. This is exactly what we needed. But don't tip your hand yet. Let him come to the presentation tomorrow. I've invited the entire biochemistry faculty and several Princeton representatives. What about my parents? Oh, they're already on the guest list. I told them we're celebrating their son's brilliance. They've RSVP'd yes. The lecture hall was packed when I arrived. Riley squeezed my hand as we took seats in the back row. You ready for this? I've been ready my whole life. Mom and Dad sat in the front row, beaming with pride. They didn't even acknowledge me. Noah stood at the podium, adjusting his tie nervously as Dean Winters introduced him. We're honored to have the brilliant mind behind this revolutionary Alzheimer's research present his findings today. Noah cleared his throat. Thank you for this opportunity. My research focuses on, enzyme therapy for Alzheimer's disease. For 10 excruciating minutes, he fumbled through my slides, mispronouncing basic terminology and contradicting himself repeatedly. When he reached the methodology section, he completely froze. The beta secretase inhibitors were tested using standard procedures. Professor Keller from Princeton raised his hand. Could you elaborate on those procedures? Your paper mentioned a novel approach. Well, I used test tubes and microscopes. The room fell silent. Dad was sweating profusely. Dean Winters stepped forward. Perhaps you could explain how you achieved the 72% reduction in amyloid plaques that made your research so groundbreaking? I injected the mice with the good stuff, and it worked really well. Professor Martinez stood up. Mr. Garcia, your thesis contains detailed calculations based on molecular modeling. Could you walk us through your computational approach? Noah loosened his collar. I'd rather not get into the technical details. It's very complex. Indulge us, Dean Winters insisted. Look, I can't, okay? I don't know. Are you happy now? Dean Winters nodded solemnly. As I suspected. Miss Isabella Garcia, would you please join us at the podium? Every head turned toward me. I walked down the aisle, clutching my evidence folder. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been investigating a serious case of academic fraud. Isabella is the true author of this research. Noah and his parents stole her work and submitted it under his name. Dad jumped to his feet. This is absurd! My son is the genius here! Then perhaps you can explain this? Dean Winters played the recording of Noah confessing. I, Noah Garcia, did not write this thesis about whatever enzymes. Isabella did. Mom collapsed back into her chair. Dad's face turned crimson. We have overwhelming evidence, Professor Martinez added, displaying my lab notebooks on the projector. Years of documented research, all in Isabella's handwriting. Dean Winters addressed the Princeton representatives. I recommend immediate revocation of Noah Garcia's acceptance and a full investigation into the family's academic conduct. Professor Keller nodded. Agreed, and I'd like to extend our offer to the real researcher, Miss Isabella Garcia. Dad charged toward the podium. You ungrateful little... Campus security intercepted him before he could reach me. Take your hands off me. Do you know who I am? I've donated thousands to this university. Former donor, Dean Winters corrected. The university will be returning all your contributions and severing ties with your company. 3 months later, I was settling into my new lab at Princeton. Riley had come to help me unpack. Heard from your family? Not since Dad's company announced bankruptcy. Turns out fraud investigations scare away investors. Noah's working at a car wash now. Do you miss them at all? I looked around at my state-of-the-art lab, my name on the door, my research continuing exactly as I'd planned. Some family isn't worth keeping. I've built a better one. What would you have done if your family stole your life's work? Would you have exposed them publicly like Isabella did, or tried to handle it privately to preserve family relationships? Is family loyalty more important than personal achievement and recognition? If this story resonated with you, hit that like button to help others find it too. Have you ever had to stand up against people who were supposed to support you? Share your experiences in the comments below. New stories coming every week for those who need to know they're not alone in dealing with toxic relationships. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one.